What's up, y'all, and welcome into the Jack Vita Show. I'm your host, Jack Vita. We are back here now, and it is the championship series round of the MLB playoffs. I have a fantastic guest who I'm sure a lot of Mariners fans, Yankees fans, some of the Philly locals would love to hear from today. It is longtime play-by-play man and now radio voice of the New York Yankees, Dave Sims. Dave, great to have you back here, my friend. How you been?
Good to see you, Jack. What did I see you last one? We golfed in 24, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it was weird. We weren't at the same spring training location this year.
Yeah, no, not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, time moves quick. That feels like yesterday.
Yeah, it does. I know. I saw a picture. I have this Aura screen behind me. You can probably see it. It has all the flashing pictures and all that stuff. And your picture of you and I came up, and I'm thinking 1 year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So, yeah.
Yeah, it was last year. It's a good time. Have you been playing? Are you going to play any golf this off season?
I'd like to. Right now, I got a whole bunch of things, a lot of rest, and some books I got to finish. If I get it in, I get it in. Right now, we're going through a nor'easter here in New York. So.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, we got a lot of rain out here in Phoenix.
That's not you. That's unusual this time of year, isn't it? Or is
Yeah, very uncharacteristic. There was a hurricane in Mexico. They wiped out all the fall league games for the whole weekend.
Ooh, didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this was your first year on Yankees play-by-play, and I'm sure we'll talk about that. But we got to lead off with the Mariners here because you spent, 17 years,
18 years out there, yeah.
18 years. 18 years calling Mariners games. You did TV and some radio, right? You did radio as well?
Yeah.
And the Mariners are now in the ALCS. First and foremost, can you believe that we're actually living in this reality where the Mariners are just like 3 games away from the World Series?
It is pretty wild. And, I thought in 24 we missed by a game. I think 23 we missed by a game or two. And there was a couple other occasions where we just missed. I'm very happy, for those guys and the organization. I mean, obviously now, with the Yankees now, I thought we were going to be flying to Seattle to play those guys because they were the top seed, and the Yankees went 4-2 against them this year. And but a lot of things have changed since we last saw those guys. I mean, they picked up Gino, they picked up my man at first base,
Josh Naylor.
Josh Naylor, and they brought some vigor, some vim and vigor, as the old saying used to go, to that ball club, some pop. And then the pitchers, they suffered injuries, but guys are back. And I thought Bryce Miller was fantastic last night, game 1. I mean, he gave up the first pitch home run, didn't flip out. I mean, George Springer's hit a million, leadoff homers. And I thought it was Polanco clutch again. I think Julio got a couple of knocks. Here's the other thing. They made plays defensively. I think that was the big. You have got to make plays against Toronto because they're going to put the ball in play. And they do it as well as anybody. I think only Kansas City struck out fewer times than they did. They were number 1 in batting average. They were number 1 in runners in scoring position batting average. It's a good ball club. And, certainly seeing them 13 times, I think I know them pretty well. And I call those, outside of maybe Springer and Vlad Jr., the non-bold-faced guys kill you. Lucas, Davis Snyder, Straw, Varsho, Clement. Those guys are good. And Alejandro Kirk is a really good catcher. His catching's improved tremendously. He can always hit. That's why he's in the majors at 5'8", 265. The dude can swing it. But I got a nice ball club, and, Gosman was on point pretty much last night. So it's going to be a heck of a series. I tell you what, though, and I know Toronto's done some good things on the road. Logan Gilbert spins it on them in game 2. They're going to be in trouble going back to Seattle because that place will be, I think Toronto's is a great atmosphere. Seattle, in a situation like this, as starved as those fans are to get to the World Series, will be nuts times 10. It's going to be crazy.
Anything you notice that's different about this M's team compared to those last 3 or 4 years?
Freaking hit. They can hit.
Yeah.
It's one thing they've been, carrying pitchers carried the ball club for the last 5 years, but now you got a legit lengthy a legit lengthy batting order. And Polanco's his knees are good, so he's swinging it well from both sides. And again, they make plays. They defensively, for the most part, they make plays. They're I mean, if the Yankees had been on par with them defensively, good chance we could have beaten Toronto. So,
Well, you mentioned Josh Naylor. I'm such a big Josh Naylor fan, and that game Friday night was pretty much Naylor versus Kerry Carpenter. Naylor was responsible for like half of the Mariners' hits. Carpenter. He went 5 for 5 or 4 for 4, and I think he got.
it was crazy.
I think 4 for 4, and he got walked, and I think he got walked twice. It was an unbelievable game, and I just think that in a lot of these contact hitters have been undervalued by our industry, especially in recent years.
Totally. And the whole, not everybody can do damage. There's guys that need to spray the ball around, slash, run like heck. That's another thing Toronto does well. They go first and third as well. They're better than anybody. But, yeah, you got to get guys. Yeah, I don't need, 5'9", 175-pound guys swinging for the fence like you're Aaron Judge. Aaron Judge is Aaron Judge. Bellinger, Ben Rice. I mean, those are the sluggers. And that goes, and it's industry wide. I'm not just picking on anybody with the Yankee Ball Club. And here's the other thing: 2-strike approach. How about 2-strike approach? How about improving? Like even last night, the Mariners, they get, who was it? Gino got the double. They moved him over third. Somebody got a productive out. It was Ken Zone. Ken Zone got a pull side the ground out, moved the runner to third. I think that the next guy can't get the left there, Robles. Can't get the bunt down, and it flies out. And then they make a third out. You got to get that run in with 1 out, 2 outs. You got to get a runner at third. You got to get in. Guys can't bunt. That's inexcusable. And at this time of the year, and I say this every freaking year, you couldn't get a bunt down in May or June. Well, when you have to get that sucker down in October and you fail, that's on you. I mean, you got to put in the work. You got to, the guy puts, the skipper puts on, hey, he's going, bunt, get it down. And that's why they called it a sacrifice. Get it down and not back to the pitcher. At least, we had a bunt, I think, in one of our games. Guy got the bunt down, but it went right to the pitcher. Throw over, got the out. So those are a couple of my bugaboos about the game right now.
Well, isn't it part of it that these teams just don't really bunt much unless they're in an extra inning game? Like, it seems like the analytical approach in a 162-game season is let's not give away outs. Let's just try to cash in as much as possible.
You know what? I'll give you that. I will give you that, but you still have to have it in your toolkit. You got to be able to do it.
I agree with you. I think that's a failure by the organizations because these guys aren't bunting all year, and now all of a sudden it's like, all right, lay down a bunt, and these guys haven't been bunting all year, so they're not very good at it, and it's tough to watch because, I grew up playing.
You're being kind to say it's tough to watch. It's terrible. It's a joke. It always crosses my mind. It's gonna win or cost somebody a championship because they can't get a bunt down.
Yeah, it's so.
You can set your watch to it.
Like, so many of these guys look uncomfortable bunting, and I just think that that's unacceptable.
Totally. And some guys haven't bunted since high school, if they bunted in high school, because most of the guys, anybody that makes it to the major leagues and playing on a regular basis was a stud dating back to Little League.
Right.
And they were probably, especially the bigger kids, they would swing away, But, the guys who are, like Varsho, I've not seen him. I don't have it in front of me, but I would bet a guy like Varsho who's 5'9", who's got some pop, hit 20, I think it was 20-plus home runs, even though he missed the whole lot of season. He was able to get some bunts down. So I'm telling you, I think that, with Milwaukee, the Dodgers series starting, you're going to see some more failed opportunities, run-scoring opportunities, go right down the drain. I hate saying that, but it's just the reality.
So I think everyone from Seattle wants to know if you have any FOMO right now. Are you missing the Mariners? Are you wishing you were part of this ride?
Hey, you know what? I made a decision. I'm here in the East Coast. you can't believe, if you go to some of my social media, you can't believe, first of all, the majority of things I do see have been very, complimentary. Hey, we miss you, we miss you, we miss you, which I appreciate. I'm all right. But I think I made an American capitalistic system to move. I live in New York. There are the Yankees. All right, they're not the Yankees of the Joe Torre Yankees, but they haven't won a World Series since '09. But it's still, even with all that, it's still the most recognized franchise. Probably, I think I'm safe to say in North America. And my son was over in Europe during the summer. Whose caps did he see? Yankee fan. I may not have been Yankee fans, but the Yankee logo has some gravitas to it, and it has sex appeal, and it has, signifying, wins and domination and whatnot. Hey, love Seattle. Had a great run. The opportunity to do 18 years there was great. Though I wish we had made playoffs more than what I made it once out there. Hell yeah, I'd like to have that different. But at this stage of my life, this stage of my career, I have friends around the country said, if you don't take this job, I'm flying into New York. I'm gonna kick your butt. You got to take that job. I got family members saying, "Well, I could have stayed in Seattle." I said, coming home, it's the Yankees. What are you, nuts?
You've lived in New York. Some people might not know. Lived in New York a very long time, too.
Yeah, I grew up in Philly. I went to school. When I graduated college, I went to a small school in West Virginia, Bethany College. And right out of college, I got a job in Philly for the Enquirer and worked for 3 months there. I got a job in New York, and I've been here ever since 1975. So, I'm a New York / Philly guy.
Yeah. And how was your first year on the Yankees broadcast?
It was fun. A lot of new faces and names in terms of support group and all that kind of stuff. The players, most of those guys I either know or certainly know of them, and they know who I am. So it was just a matter of adjusting to doing all one. I think I did counting exhibition games. I took a little time off, 3 days. I got sick one day. So I did 158, 165, did 172 games. So the 7 games I did in spring training really helped establish a rhythm with Susan and I, and Susan Waldman has been around for a long time, and we're friends for going back a long ways. So it was just making an adjustment, the timing and everything. And then other than that, hey, I was, documenting the story and hoping like heck the Yankees. It was a foregone conclusion. They can call it arrogance if you want. Well, we're going to make the playoffs. It's just a matter of how far we get. So, I've lived here in New York. I knew that whole story. I enjoyed it. I ran into a lot of people. I had an unbelievable reception when we got back to when we went to Seattle in May. People were just very nice. They, I think it was the first game, might have been the second game. Tom Hutler, the PA announcer, and the in-stadium people, they put something on the board, and then he came to me, in the booth. I tipped my cap, gave one of these, kind of nice ovation. So that was nice. And it's interesting. I was talking about people who have been super nice on social media and whatnot. People talking about traitor, you betrayed me. It's like, are you serious? I didn't sign a blood oath to stay in Seattle to do the Mariners the rest of my life. It's not how it works. Chip Carey left Atlanta to go to St. Louis. There were different circumstances. Every guy's been moved around. Tim Everett's been around to Boston and L.A. And Dave Raymond was at Houston before he went to Texas, and the Rangers, that is. So, these kind of guys move. It happens. And I appreciate the attachment, but it just sort of like people really wanted me on the post, go Mariners, and all that kind of stuff. So that tells you about the bond that as a broadcaster, more than any other sport, the bond, the audience, the baseball announcers is second to none, because I mean, you're going to be in their home 160 something, 170, 180 days, whether it be radio and or TV or both. So I get the connection, but it's sort of like some people like really piss me off.
Yeah.
They're like, it's like, what are you talking about? This is the American way. This is what we do in this country. Come on, get the hell out of here. But the people who said, warm and stuff like, hey, my one guy wrote, a couple of guys grew up with Dave Niehaus. He was my guy, my voice of summer. You're the voice of my summer for my kid and me. So,
well, first of all, that's a great point just in terms of the relationship that you have with the fans. Second is social media. You can't win with everybody on social media. We know how all this goes. I want to know what you think about that ALDS series. So the Yankees just got eliminated. What do you think went wrong, and what needs to be addressed this winter?
Well, clearly the starting pitching. I mean, Max didn't have a good run. Schlittler pitched well, but got no support. I think it was that game 4, I guess it was. Yeah. Toronto put the ball in play. There was a few defensive plays that didn't get made, which led to big innings. And those first 2 games were just 10 runs and then 13 runs in the first 2 games up there. That was tough. And the 10-7 game, held a comeback against their bullpen. And the bullpen is supposedly, one of their weak spots, but then they come on the rest of the series and they pitch well. It's baseball. John Sterling, that's baseball, Susan. And Ron Washington, that's how baseball go. There's you don't have to dig it so deep. And the Yankees, again, situational hitting. Could have been a heck of a lot better. Judge did his job. He hit. Stanton came into the postseason swinging the bat really well and had a bad postseason. Luke Weaver, bad postseason. Bednar was really good closing. Devin Williams was good setting up. Volpe didn't hit. He had 16, 17 strikeouts against Toronto. And counting, first round, he had close to 20 strikeouts. Can't happen. Jazz doesn't make a play in the game 4. He's shading towards the bag. Ball comes to him. I don't know if it's a new glove or whatever. He doesn't make the play, and he continues, runs, eventually come around to score. So those are things you're looking for. There was another time where Hoffman was in game 4, bases loaded. He walked 2 guys. He gave up a hit and then walked the next 2 guys. He can't find a play. And Wells, who had a nice year, first pitch swinging, fastball up and away, flies out to left, 2 outs, inning over. Threat dies, don't score. First game, 6th inning, bases loaded, score 1 run on a bases loaded walk. Judge strikes out, Stanton strikes out. So those are points in that series.
So I think your pitching is going to be pretty darn good next year. Cole comes back, Fried, Rodon, Schlittler what he just gave the Yankees in that Boston series was historic. Like, that was incredible. He was great. So I think the pitching is going to be really good next year.
Yeah, it has a chance, and he'll coming off what he had the lat strain. He's got good stuff. The command, if he ever gets the command back, that's how we won the Rookie of the Year last year. And Will Warren made 33 starts, and he was up and down. The thing you got to like about him, he listens to, and there's good information coming out of Cole, Rodon, Fried, and Andy Pettit when he's around. So hopefully, he'll go through all the tape of his games. For me, he needs to make batters more uncomfortable. He doesn't throw inside enough, especially the right-hand hitters. And, when you have guys running up to the batter's box and they know that they have nothing to fear, nothing to be concerned about, that's a problem. And you leave pitches over the plate, you're going to get hurt. So I'm hoping if there's nothing else he takes away from this season, that he learns to. I mean, I'm not saying you got to hurt somebody, you don't have to beat them, but you got to move the hell off the plate. You got to say, hey, that third for right-handers, that's my part. That's for me, and deal with that. I think that's probably. I'd be stunned if that's not the lesson that teach him. Hey, here's on your to-do list. Here's your exit interview information. I would think that's where they need to go.
Do you think Bellinger comes back?
I hope he does. He loves it here. I think he likes following in his dad's footsteps. And now again, he's a Boris guy. Scott's gonna look for the biggest dollar. And the kid, he had a great year. All-star. I mean, he felt comfortable wherever they put him. Some guys who move around, you go, I think this is his better spot. We're a little problematic over here. Bellinger. I mean, I think back to that diving, it was a sinking liner at Citi Field, dug it out and caught it and threw out the runner. First it was Lindor, and like everybody in the building didn't think he was going to catch it, and they got a double play out of it. He made a game-saving catch early in the season. He's so athletic. He was going to his left, and he stumbled and still recovered and made a catch for the last out with a couple men on with Fernando Cruz on the mound. So I think he's very important to bring back for sure.
So you grew up in Philadelphia, surrounded by Italians. You were a Phillies fan growing up. Still a Phillies fan?
Yeah, I was bummed that they, not only did they lose, but how they lost. And my heart goes out to Ryan Kirkering. Good God Almighty.
Oh gosh.
I mean, JT's like, it was hard to watch, man.
That was hard to watch. I was surprised. I thought they were going to win that series.
So did I. Especially, they had won that game and they're going back to Philly. They weren't going to lose the fifth game in Philly.
No.
And that turned out to be a really bad sports night for Philly fans. Eagles got drilled by the Giants of all teams. Phillies lost, and I think the Flyers lost that day. So that was a bad night.
Yeah, it was a bad night. The Phillies enter an off season where they've got some, key decisions to make.
Yeah.
Schwarber, Real Muto, Suarez, all free agents. Well,
I can tell you this. Let me just say this. When the Phillies were here, and I don't want to say I know all those guys, but I've had multiple conversations over the last years with Schwarber. I said, dude, you got to be up here in Philly. He says, no, I want to. Then I saw Dave Dombrowski, who wound up their GM. I said, Dave, you got to sign this guy. He said, that's our plan. So I think that, he's built for that ballpark. Great dude. Terrific teammate. I hope they run it back one more year. I mean, I know because I'm on a thread with my high school guys all the time. And I don't think they're in the mood for like a breakdown and a rebuild. I think they're looking for, pinch here, dash there, turn this up, turn this down, and let's get after it again. Hopefully Wheeler comes back healthy, and he's elite. And I know he only wants to pitch another 3 years. So let's take advantage of that.
It's funny. I'm actually in a Philly chain as well. Even though I've never been to Philly in my life, but I went.
Arguably the best sports town in America.
Yeah, I went to college with two of Mickey Morandini's sons, so I'm going to chat with the Morandini brothers, and there are a couple other guys, and they're huge Philly fans. So I'm probably seeing the same kind of text that you've been seeing over the last couple weeks.
Unbelievable.
But here's the thing, Dave. Like, I mean, you know how it is, and you've worked in this industry so long. Like, I've become so appreciative of those awesome fan bases. Because last year, I got my first real big opportunity to cover Andrew Painter when I was out here at the Fall League as a freelancer. And it's like, that story does not get published if there isn't tremendous interest from the fans in prospects. And when you see some of these cities where they're just obsessed with these prospects, you're like, those are awesome fans, and you wish them well.
Yeah, and in my time in Seattle, I'm trying to think, that group that's their starting nine. Well, the pitchers are the ones that they're all homegrown, with the exception of Castillo. Position-wise, you got Julio, you got Canzone, traded for Rosarena and Robles, traded for Gino, traded for JP, Polanco, Taylor, and Cal Raleigh's home group. So you knew about those cats coming up. And obviously you got to make moves, that kind of stuff. So not every prospect's going to hit. But you do get hungry for, when you see a guy like Painter puts up numbers, has a terrific effect on the whole organization, you got to love that. When you have that kind of attention to guys on the come, man, it's very exciting, especially when they get there.
So could you see them maybe making an addition outside the organization? If they run it back, they bring back those 3 free agents. I mean, Naylor's a free agent. You've got Bo Bichette, Luis Arise. Like, there's some good contact bats out there on the market. Bet. It's going to be really interesting offseason, I think.
I would love, the guy, I know Bichette a little bit. Boy, I would take him in a heartbeat at shortstop, to be honest with you. In a heartbeat. Put that stick in that lineup. I mean, he's an average guy. He can run. I don't know what the defensive metrics are. I generally don't follow that kind of stuff. It seems like the few times I see him every year, he makes plays. But as an offensive player, it'd be a heck of a get. Philly, New York. I mean, if you're Toronto, you better back up a truck, man. It's going to be interesting to see if they showed. You probably saw it yesterday on the pregame show. He tried to run first to third. It didn't happen. Damn near broke down at second base. So he's really hurt. That's a shame because they could use him. The good news is Jimenez is a very good glove guy. So they're not. Matter of fact, he got a couple of knocks against the Yankees. It's like, really? He's a nice player.
Do you know his dad at all?
Dante, met him once. I liked him. I always liked his game. I met him. I saw him in Colorado, 24. I think we're at the Mariners are there, 24. I think I saw him. I think I saw him somewhere else. I know what it was. I think I saw him at the All-Star game. Yeah, good dude.
I've met him once also, and he's a great mind when it comes to hitting. Like someone that, if you want to pick the brain of somebody, and you see it with his son, and his son has taken a lot of that stuff probably everything his dad's told him. And, again, we're talking about how so many of these guys are selling out for power. A lot of them don't command the strike zone very well, but look at how Bo Bichette can spray the ball all over the outfield. Like, I think he's a really special player.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, I would rather have him than a lot of the shortstops that got signed over the last few years.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, he's gonna make it sure. He's not a butcher by any stretch of the imagination. And I think for me, at a premium position, if you can just make the routine plays and he's gonna hit, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. He's got one batting title. He led the league in hits once or twice. He was swinging it well this year before he got hurt against the Yankees. As a matter of fact, he went the first. I think it was our first visit. They were having infield, and he backed up. He was backpedaling, and there was a loose, foul, BP ball, and he tripped over that. So he missed, I think, that entire series. Then when he came back, when we saw him at our place, second time in September, as a play at the plate, and that's when he hurt his knee.
Yeah, and I think that's a huge loss, too, that I honestly am kind of amazed that Toronto's been able to get this far without him.
You know what? I have to give it to him.
Yeah.
He's just like, and the Yesevich kid, are you kidding? Coming direct overhand with that split. And I thought maybe the second time through, the Yankees would get to him. Heck, he went no for 5 1/3 and 10 11 strikeouts. I mean, come on.
Ridiculous. All right, one more series we'll chat about. We'll touch on. How much did you watch the Cubs Brewers?
Not enough to really get a good feel because we were opposite them too. On most nights anyway. And I'd seen that the Cubs had several big first innings, But Milwaukee is sort of like Yankees played them first home series. So they hit 9 home runs. My first series
Yeah.
with the
That was
Yankees.
the torpedo bats, was the whole Nestor Cortez got lit up by his former
Yeah,
team.
and I'm hearing from people in the Pacific Northwest around the country, the Yankees are cheating. Save it. Stop. Judges. I had a guy write me, says judges on steroids. I says, no, that's what the good Lord gave 6'5", 275 and ripped. Stop. Just because he's his overall batting champion, hit 50, third guy in history, batting title and hit 50 plus home runs. I mean, come on. But Milwaukee and Toronto are similar, where they again, not big names, but dudes can play, man. They get the ball in play and they catch it.
I really want to see Milwaukee and Seattle in the World Series. That's like the storylines that I've been rooting for.
Yeah, but Fox doesn't want to see that.
No, they do not. But I think that if the Brewers win the pennant, it becomes one of those type of like a Moneyball type season where it's like, how did this team do this? What have they like? What has the rest of the industry been overlooking that they're taking advantage of? And one of the things is like 5 of their regular 9 guys are under 6 foot. So like they found some guys who've been undervalued because they're not that big, but they hit the ball really well. They put together great at bats.
Was it Terang? Who's the third baseman?
Caleb Durbin, who was the breakout player last year in the Arizona Fall League.
Right. I have to get the roster. I didn't even remember the roster that well, but it's a good team, man. And Yelich, provides veteran leadership. He's been there. He's done that. Contreras, pop that home run he hit last night. It's a good club, and I really like Murph too. I think he's got a good handle on things.
Dave, I talked to somebody. I'll share this for a second. I talked to somebody, and this was shortly after Counsell got brought in. This is someone who's very much in the know, executive. And I said, what do you think about this? And this person said, they better bring Murphy with because Counsell leans on him pretty heavily, was what I was told. And look at how that's unfolded. I mean, Murphy, they have not missed a beat without Counsell.
Yeah, not at all. South Frelick is another guy. Frelick, Durbin,
Boston College, right?
Yeah. Andrew Vaughn, resuscitated his career.
Yeah.
And they just got contributions from dudes that, Monasterio, 68 games, he hit 270, 755, what was that, 109 OPS. Yeah, it's a nice ball club. It really is.
Yeah, it's a really interesting case study, and I always enjoy when you see, maybe it's the Rays, sometimes it's Cleveland, where they put together these seasons, and you're just like, how did this happen? Let's take a look at this. They're doing something right.
It's interesting, too, somebody pointed out to me, if Seattle wins and Milwaukee wins, it's an all-Seattle series. Because Brewers are pilots. Boy, those people would be... If that happens, man, the people in the Pacific Northwest and Seattle would be so chesty and like, ew.
You want to give a pick for either series?
Well, I'm flat out rooting for the Mariners, so
right.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. I think the Dodgers star power, and they've got 1 million arms coming out of the bullpen. Sasaki evidently has been killing it. He's throwing at or close to a hundo. So, and they're just up and down. They got Ohtani. Phillies took care of Ohtani. I think I heard they were working him hard down and in. I mean, if Milwaukee tries that, maybe he backs off the plate and gets to it. I'm a Mariner Dodger series, boy, it'd be all West Coast. The weather's getting cool in Seattle, so the roof will be put in play, and it'll still be warm in SoCal. So, having Seattle in the World Series for the very first time, people in this country like underdogs, and that's a heck of a story. The trials and tribulations. It was his first time in the ALCS in 24 years. It's only the second time in the playoffs since '01. It's still, and it's one of the really cool cities in the country, and especially during the summertime when the weather is just ideal. So that's what we got.
And it's fun. If you're a fan, it's fun when your team is the underdog and you've got like the rest of the country behind you. So like, look at the Chiefs. When the Chiefs first got to the Super Bowl,
Right.
everyone loved the Chiefs. And now, you live long enough to become the villain, as they say in
Right.
The Dark
Right.
Knight. And, then everyone hates you because you win.
Yeah, back to back to back to back. Yeah, I know when 2 years ago when what was it? That win last night's a third straight win in the playoffs by the Mariners in Toronto. And after Mariners upset Toronto up there and then go and play Houston, I can't tell you how many people I heard from, going into the Houston series, given what Houston had done in the past. Hey, man, we're rooting for you. I mean, I heard from broadcasters, writers, just fans who were rooting for the Mariners. So if they were to beat Toronto and get to the World Series, probably hear a lot, hear it from those same people again.
Well, Dave, this has been a lot of fun. Is there anything else?
Hey, just going to chill. And then I got some basketball coming up. I got a couple, 3 games in early.
Big East?
Yeah. And here in the local New York metro area. And then I'll get back to it in January, take some time off in December. And I tell you, guy told me yesterday, says, I forget what the number was, but we're only XYZ days away from first pitch of opening of spring training. I said, no, it'll be here fast. This year went unbelievably fast for me. Unbelievable. I mean, it seemed like it was just the other day, newspaper guys are calling me up, hey, congratulations, I want to do a piece. Let's do a little sit down or doing TV shows and radio shows. And now the season's over. Like, man. And I look at pictures here. Old Timers Day was already 2 months ago. It's like, man, where the hell did the time go? Amazing.
How'd you like spring training in Tampa?
We were there a very limited time. We did 7 games, and it was a lot different. And it was because in Seattle, and we were there. We always get there. Broadcasters get there 2 days before the first exhibition game, and then take it all the way through to the end and start the season. So
Yeah.
A lot different. And then this coming year, I see that the schedule's been out for a while, but we open regular season in San Fran, go to San Francisco, and then we go to Seattle. And then, so we'll go, I was told that it looks like we'll go Tampa, where you are in Arizona, play, I think it's the Diamondbacks or somebody, then go up to San Francisco. It's going to be chilly late March. And then go to Seattle, where I know it's going to be chilly in late March. So that's going to be an interesting start to the season, and hopefully no arms get blown out during that time. You know what I mean? Cold weather, going from heat, humidity of Tampa, going to that cold weather, boom, lickety split. So that's a concern that certainly crossed my mind.
It is very cold in some of these cities at the start of the season. I know that as a Chicagoan.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Dave, anything you want to plug or promote? You doing the podcast?
Yeah, our second season's starting soon. Stay tuned on your social media. But we got some neat things coming up. We got a couple switcheroos, and I think you really like it. So looking forward to it.
It's called Hey Now.
The Hey Now podcast.
The Dave Sims Show, right? Hey Now, the Dave Sims Show. All right, I'll link to that. You can follow him on social media. What's the handle, Dave?
Let's see. It's Dave at Dave Sims _ for an X, TDSS on Instagram, and I believe it's the same on TikTok. But if you put my name in, you'll see my mug. You'll know who it is.
Well, Dave, thank you so much, and I'm sure we'll talk soon.
Absolutely, Jack. Thanks, man. Be good.
All right, y'all, that concludes our conversation today with Dave Sims. It was really fun to get his perspective on all things Mariners and Yankees, hear about his first year in the Bronx. I'm sure it won't be the last time we speak with him. We're going to have you covered all the way through these MLB playoffs, so make sure you guys subscribe here to our YouTube channel. We are also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. It's a Jack Vita Show sports feed, not to be confused with Jack Vita Show Entertainment, where cover reality shows and other TV. So make sure that you guys all subscribe. You can follow me on social media. It is at Jack Vita Show on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. And until next time, I'm Jack Vita. Bring in the dancing lobsters.